In this video, I will show you how to reverse the wheel direction on the Aspire with a foot pedal with the new style control board. The tools you will need are a 5mm T-wrench, a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, a pair of wire cutters, 3 zip ties, and 2 pair of slip joint pliers. First, turn off and unplug your wheel. Locate the black socket head cap screw that locks the wheel head in place. Using a 5mm T-wrench, loosen the set screw. Then lift up on the wheel head to remove it. Position your wheel on its back to gain access to the bottom cover plate. To remove the rubber feet using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, then remove the bottom plate. Using a pair of wire cutters, remove the zip tie that holds the potentiometer wires in place to the ground wire. Follow the potentiometer wires that lead to the control board and cut the zip tie that binds them. Next, separate the 3 butt connectors that connect the foot pedal to the potentiometer harness. Unscrew the ground screw that mounts the ground wire to the frame. Be sure to capture the 2 washers that go with the ground screw. Using 2 pair of pliers, unfasten the strain relief of the foot pedal cord. 1 pair of pliers holds the strain relief from moving while the other unscrews the strain relief nut. Next, pull the cord assembly out from the housing. Next, remove the belt by pulling the belt off the pulley wheel as you turn the pulley wheel. Using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, begin removing all 5 screws located behind the pulley wheel. Locate the 2 frame mount screws at the bottom of the housing and remove them with the number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Next, cut the zip tie that holds the fuse in place and unscrew the middle ground wire that originates from the power cord. Now, taking the wheel frame, start maneuvering it away from the wheel housing. You will have to pivot it away from the switch plate, and you may need to move some of the wires out of the way in order to do this. The motor tower will also push back on the housing, so continue to pivot the frame as needed to clear the motor from the housing. To change the wheel direction, locate the black and red wires on the control board and switch them. Remove the black wire from the A+ position, then remove the red wire from the A- position. Plug the red wire into A+, and finally the black wire into A-. When remounting the frame back to the housing, make sure all the harnesses and wires can clear the frame. In this instance, I had to loosen the ground wire attached to the housing so I could clear it from the frame. Reinstall the 2 frame mounting screws at the bottom of the housing using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Don't tighten them all the way down. Reinstall the 5 screws at the top behind the pulley assembly. As before, do not fasten any of the screws all the way down until all are in. Afterward, go back and tighten down the 2 screws at the bottom of the housing. Reassemble the brass washer and the tooth washer to the ground wire and screw. Then remount it to the wheel frame using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Feed the cord through the fender washer, then feed the cord along with the fender washer and strain relief through the switch plate of the wheel. From the inside, feed the lock nut through the foot pedal cord wires and tighten it to the strain relief body. Now take the ground wire from the foot pedal cord and mount it to the shared screw for the ground wire. Reassemble the brass washer and the tooth washer, then remount the ground wires back to the frame of the wheel. Now go back and tighten the ground wire that is attached to the housing. Plug in the terminals from the foot pedal cord wire to the wire harness. From the foot pedal cord, the blue wire couples with the red wire. Next, the black wire to the brown. Finally, the white to the white. Using a zip tie, tighten down the terminals together. Tighten with pliers if necessary, and clip the excess of the zip tie. Then tuck the wires behind the frame. Using a second zip tie, fasten the remaining portion of the foot pedal cords to the ground wires. Pull the zip tie tight and cut off the excess. Plug in and turn on your wheel. Depress the foot pedal to make sure the wheel is operating correctly. Finally, use 2 pair of slip joint pliers to tighten down the strain relief. Replace the bottom cover and fasten all 6 rubber feet.